Good morning, children. Today we are going to continue our chapter 11, that is foreign trade. In this lecture, we will study about documents used in export trade and WTO. In the last lecture, we have studied about the documents which are used in import trade. In that, first we have studied indent. Means indent is an order placed by the importer. So in the same manner, you can say the first document which is used in export trade is foreign indent. By after receiving the indent placed by the importer, in answer to that indent, the exporter reply with a foreign indent. The first document which is used in export trade, which is sent by the exporter to the importer in reply to the indent. Or you can say the documents which are used, first one is foreign indent, shipping order, maid's receipt, bill of lading, insurance policy and certificate of origin. Starting with the first, that is foreign indent, that what I have told you means in documents used in import trade, we have studied that the first document which is used, which is sent by the importer to the exporter for placing an order, is known as indent. Now, in reference to that indent, the exporter gives a reply by sending a foreign indent to the importer. Therefore, you can say that foreign indent is a document which is sent by the exporter to the importer. It contains particulars of goods sent to importers, and it is a detailed list giving detail about what is sent to the importer. It also contains other relevant information about the goods sent. For example, in import trade, we have studied that the importer asks the detail about the quantity, quality, price, mode of payment. So it is the reply. Therefore, everything will be mentioned in foreign indent also. That is quantity, quality, price per unit, packet of the goods, method of payment, etc. After that, after sending this to the importer, there is now order has to be placed, means order has to be sent to the shipping company. Now it is an order, shipping order. Next document is shipping order. It is an order issued by the shipping company to the captain of the ship. Now once goods are packed, they are sent to the shipping company. Now the shipping company gives the particular goods to the ship or the captain of the ship, directing him to load the goods mentioned in the order. Therefore, shipping order means it is order made by the shipping company to the captain of the ship, and it is an order to load the goods mentioned in the order. After that, after once the thing is reached to the captain of the ship, now the owner of the ship see the goods which has been received from the shipping company. Now first of all, you can say that that type of receipt means once the captain of the ship sees the goods which is received, he makes a receipt of the good that exporter loads directly on the ship. Therefore, you can say that it is a document issued by the mate or the captain of the ship acknowledging the receipt of the good that exporter load directly on the ship. Once the goods are loaded in good condition, now two types of receipt are there, that is clean made ship and foul made ship. Now the captain of the ship sees the good. If the goods are in good condition, he makes a clean made receipt, and if the goods are not in a good condition, means if the package is destroyed or something else, then he makes a foul made receipt. After that, bill of lading. Bill of lading we have studied in import trade. It is a list giving details of the goods which is loaded on the ship. Once the good is loaded on the ship, the owner of the ship gives this bill of lading. As the exporter gets this bill of lading, he sent a copy of bill of lading to the importer also. To the importer, why he sends this bill of lading copy to the importer? As when the importer will go and receive the thing from the ship, he has to show this document, which is known as bill of lading, to the captain of the ship. Then only he will get his particular goods from the ship. So you can say it is an official receipt of the shipping company acknowledging receipt of the goods on board of the ship. It contains the terms and condition on which the goods are to be taken to the port of destination. Without this document, the importer cannot take delivery of the goods that is imported. Means the exporter has sent to the importer. That is why when the importer has to take things from the ship, he has to show bill of lading, then only he will get the things. Next is insurance policy. Now things are coming from other countries also. So in between or in the journey, things may get destroyed. So sometimes the exporter gets the insurance of the good which is sent to the importer. So in this case also, if the goods are insured, so the exporter will send a copy of the insurance policy to the importer. So if the goods are destroyed in between, the importer can show the policy and get the refund from that insurance policy. Therefore, you can say it is a mode of contract between two parties whereby the insurer undertakes to indemnify the insured against a loss arising from the happening of an uncertain event. Next is certificate of origin. This is also a certificate which is sent by the exporter to the importer to enjoy preferential right. It is a document in which the place of origin of goods are given. Sometimes some places they do not charge any custom charges on their particular goods. That is why some of the exporters send the certificate of origin to the importer, so that the importer does not pay any custom charge to take the things. This was all about the documents documents which is used in export trade, that is foreign indent, shipping order, mate's receipt, bill of lading, insurance policy, and last is certificate of origin. Next is we have to study about World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization, also known as WTO, is the only international organization dealing with the global rules of trade between nations. As we have studied about SEBI, Stock Exchange Board of India, which manage the rules and regulation of stock exchange. In same way, WTO also manage the rule regulation and make some mutual cooperation among the nation, is known as WTO. That is why you can say that WTO is a globally recognized trade organization established with a view to promote international trade. What else you can say? The World Trade Organization is a member driven. It is driven by its member with decision taken by general agreement among all members of government, and it deals with the rules of trade between nation at global or near global level. But there is more to it than that. It deals with agriculture of countries, textile, clothing, banking, telecommunication, and many other things. WTO are lengthy and complex because they are legal texts covering a wide range of activity. Next, you can say that WTO was established on 1st January 1995, replacing the GATT. India is one of the founder member of WTO. Presently, WTO consists of 149 countries and all the WTO members have equal voting right. It means that one country has its own vote and it is only one vote. one country stands for only one vote. You can say that WTA also promotes international trade and promotes international peace. Now there are some functions of WTO. WTO means, you can say, it promotes international peace and it governs international trade in goods, trade in services, foreign direct investment, protection of intellectual properties, dispute settlement. Also, this is done by WTO. Now, you can say it formulates policies, it makes policies, it promotes international trade, and it negotiates trade agreement among members country and settle trade related dispute among the countries. It provides technical assistance and guidance to member nations relating to foreign trade. And last, it undertakes research and publishes trade related information for international community. This was about WTO. You can go through your book and you can learn that when it was formed and how many members are there and what are the functions of WTO. Thank you.